Welcome to the demo of Wholesome Monster Girl Academia. Because this is the early alpha, please consider that there are still a few missing art assets for side characters, including 3 in the intro and 2 in the missing background. A majority of the written content for the demo is finished, but there is always room for more scenes and any missed grammar corrections. Please enjoy reading and let me know of any bugs, inconsistencies, or any constructive criticism you have. If you want to follow for updates, check us out on Twitter, WholesomeMGA, or follow developer True Yamik. We'll show this game on Steam. It's next year kind of game. You're gonna close the game, but hold up your Steam client if it is installed. So let's begin. The final bell of my first week as a high school junior blares through the hallway. My ears are soon filled with hundreds of simultaneous conversations from students all over the school. I shove my books into my backpack and rush out of the classroom, relieved to be free for the weekend. Here we go. I'll probably spend my time gaming or seeing what my friends are up to. Not that we're super close to or do anything meaningful, but it's still nice to hang around others with similar interests. For better or worse, it seems that nothing in my life will ever changes. Even this year is starting to feel much the same as the last. The only difference is that I'm 1 year older than before. I leave school through the double bezel doors that lead downstairs into the parking lot. While rushing through the courtyard, I hear some raised voices coming from the far end of the sidewalk away from me. Rough voice. Hey, don't hop away from us, Cottontail. I can't quite tell from afar, but a student with the build of a linebacker appears to be harassing someone, a bunny-type monster girl. Looking closer, I recognize her as one of the few monster people in our school, Sophia. There aren't a whole lot of them in the public school system. For various reasons, it's taking some time for monster people to integrate into society. The second, shorter but slimmer student smoothly slides his arm around Sophia's shoulder. I instantly recognize him as Dave, the shadiest guy in school. He's well known for the not-so-savory parties that he throws at his rich parents' house. It's a surprise to me that one of the football players has fallen into one of his schemes. You got any plans this weekend? Bill here and me know a good place to hang out for free from prying eyes. So his eyes shift around uncomfortably. That's not very appealing. I hesitate for a moment, thinking that I should just let this pass since there are plenty of people around. Bystander syndrome. Surely someone out of all these people will stick up for her. Despite her shifting hands, Sophia's legs are locked and her feet are frozen in place. She looks like a rabbit caught in a trap. As I survey the courtyard, I notice that no one else is even looking in their direction. Don't be such a rush. We'll show you our favorite hangout spot and even share a few drinks. Please leave me alone. I have a boyfriend. Well, I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we just went out for a few drinks with old friends, would he? She's clearly lying anyways. Who would actually go out with a cursed freak like her? Quiet, moron. Hey, ignore him. Let's just go somewhere a little more quiet. I've been told that a man is defined by the action he takes. And I don't think I consider myself much of a man if I don't take action now. You have a problem here? Screw off, man. This is none of your business. Yeah, mind your business. Can't you see we're busy making plans for the weekend? I wasn't talking to you two morons. I was talking to my friend Sophia. It's very common for humans and monster people to hang out in most public schools, though there are a few exceptions. Everyone typically keeps their own groups, so it surprises these two that even know their own name. When I glanced at Sophia's face, she appeared relieved that she's no longer alone in this situation. She takes initiative and pushes Dave's arm off of her shoulder. Hold it, I'm not letting you go without having a little fun first. Dave starts after again and grabs her of her waist and said, okay, that's definitely a case. I accidentally reach towards her but suddenly see stars. Bill no longer caring about Dave or Sophia had just sucker punched me directly into my temple. That's cheap. I raise my arms up in defense and get ready to throw punches myself. Sophia stomps on Dave's fancy shoe and makes a break for it. I'll go get a teacher. As she says this, I prepare to defend myself against the giant in front of me. Somehow, through my imperception, I end up with my back against the school's building, leaving me no choice but to fight back. He swings wide, giving me the opportunity to duck in and release a fury of blows. 2 hits of the gun and 1 to the jaw, all of which he brushes off like it's nothing. In return, he punches me right in the eye, causing me to wince back in pain. Then quickly, I rush at him despite his build and try to tackle him back. It does no good, however, since he's built like a truck and he pushes me backward against the wall. He knees me in the gun and grabs my shirt with his hands, causing me to panic. I use the wall leverage some extra force to kick him in the gut, causing him to bend forward in pain. However, right as I do this, we hear Sophia run turning with a teacher in tow. Here they are, right over here. As quickly as it started, it's over. Teacher rushes over, having witnessed only my final kick. She makes an instantaneous judgment then and there as to who set law and has us march to the principal's office. It doesn't matter to them that I wasn't the one who started it. It doesn't matter to them that I was helping someone out of a potentially dangerous situation. All that matters to them is that school's no tolerance policy. I sit in the chair with the principal looming over me, lecturing me about fighting on school grounds, especially on the first week of school. He sentences me to a week of detention and threatens expulsion if anything like this ever happened again. I shut my brain off to anything else he has to say to me. I'm not going to listen to anything from someone with the power to make things right, but chooses not to look at the facts. All that matters to me is that I was justified in my actions. I don't care what any authoritative body says about it. I know in my heart that I'm right. I just wish I knew how to properly express that. Fortunately, my parents are a lot more patient than the school's administrators, and able to explain my side of things to them. It's because of situations like this that I know I have them to thank for my strong sense of justice. My parents, fed up with how my school handles bullying situations, decided to enroll me in a private Catholic school 3 hours away from home. It's not out of nowhere that they come to this conclusion either. Our local church was offering school scholarships over the summer for people wanting to attend. During the now current school year, there are still slots available. My parents asked me if I agree with their assessment, or if this would be the best thing for me or not. They seem to regret not having put me through private school earlier, if only for the education. I don't really have any deep attachments to my current school, so I'm not all that opposed to the idea of going to a new private one. Unfortunately, I still have to finish out the rest of the month in my current school. So right out the rest of my detention and finish the remaining month, keeping my head down and nose clean. On a positive note, during that time I ended up befriending Sophia during my final weeks. This is it, I guess. I guess so. I'm glad I got to know you better before I left, at least. Who knew we both ended up liking the same kind of music, follow the same basketball teams. Right, I never expected that humans and monster people would have so much in common. Sorry. That's fine, I was thinking the same thing. You really aren't that much different on the inside, it seems. If only I had time to get to know her and her kind more. Still feel bad you got in trouble after I gave my side of the story to the principal. Don't worry about it. If you hadn't spoke up afterwards, my pictures would have been all day during school with Dave and Bill, rather than an hour and a half after school. Hey, cheer up. At least you won't have to keep attending the same school as those jerks anymore. Are you gonna be okay despite them being here? Don't worry about me. Us bunny girls are stronger than we look. I'll stick with my friends after school. Well, be safe, Sophia. And I guess text me if you need anything. Not that I could do much 3 hours away. Same goes to you, Kate. Take care. Yeah, you too. Somehow I doubt we'll keep in touch, but part of me hopes that we will despite the physical distance. After all, it's good to have friends. At the end of the day, the new school paperwork is taken care of. All unnecessary things are packed up. I think I'm ready to leave the school behind. Still, this will be a massive change for me. Never been away from home for more than a week, so it'll take some getting used to. That's for sure. Genesis 6, 1-4. When men begin to multiply on the face of the ground, and daughters were born to them. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and he took to wife such of them as they choose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not be abide in man forever, for he is flesh, but his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. These are the mighty men that were of old, the men of Wren. These few lines of early scripture have been the cause of much controversy for the last century or so. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, mankind shot the first satellites into space. It didn't take very long for those satellites to be used for practical purposes such as weather tracking and observation. During one particular observation effort, scientists discovered some small towns and cities hidden in the areas previously unexplored in the regions of the 6 major continents. Various world government powers took it upon themselves to send people out to chart these unknown peoples and to find out how they had hidden themselves from the world up into the modern era. What they discovered baffled and scared most of humanity. Monster people whose descriptions were always thought to be mere fantasy, harpies, dragonkin, slime, succubi, even vampires were found among various other monster races. Each reflecting stories from various myths from the surrounding ancient cultures. Average citizens were terrified. The governments called for a quarantine of these newly discovered races. Many religions called them cursed and demon spawn. Some countries called for their extermination. Many monster people tried to fight back. Ultimately, they were overwhelmed by the sheer number of regular humans. In an exception that surprised many, the Vatican made a call to action for Catholics in the whole world to treat these newly discovered humanoids with the dignity and respect that any other human should be given. They reasoned that Christ's church is called to bring the message of salvation to all mankind, and that if these monster people are sapient, they are still to be considered persons first and foremost. Still, people being who they are, most rejected this message, and monster people were subject to oppression by many of the societies who had discovered them. Inspired by the civil rights movement also happening at that time in America, many ordinary people joined the efforts of the Catholic and Christian churches in their efforts to humanize these extraordinary people. The Catholic Church was instrumental in spearheading this movement too, having continued against the grain of culture, even going so far as illegally marrying people of different races against the laws of the time. Today, more and more people than ever have come to accept monster people as just another race of people, but there are still those who hold such prejudice as to call them cursed or demon spawn. The passages from Genesis may or may not describe the true origins of these people, and it may be true that they may have come from a lineage cursed by God or the sinful actions of mankind. But children do not deserve to bear the burden of their parents' sins. At least that's how I see it. And that was a mouthful. Okay, after an early mass in my hometown, we arrived a day before my first classes in order to unpack my bags and find my bearings. The new town is 3 hours away from home, so when we arrive, it's a few hours past lunchtime. We grab a quick bite to eat in town before my parents drop me off at the front gate. My parents and I embrace in a heartfelt goodbye, complete with embarrassing hugs and kisses at the front gate. I remain behind while they depart for the dorms to drop off my bags so I can start becoming acquainted with the campus. Maybe I'm just feeling optimistic, but it seems to me like the front gate has arms stretched open wide in welcome. I hope that this gesture is a good sign that I'm in the right place. Pardon me for a moment, I think about what life has been to be like once I walk through those arms. Academics aside, I wonder how different a private Catholic school will be compared to my old public one. I'm a cradle Catholic, which means I was born and raised Catholic. Despite this, I never really had a deep connection with God. Not that I don't believe or anything. It's just that I never really felt any closeness with my faith despite going to church a bunch as a kid. I'm sure there's something more to the whole religion thing, but for now, I just do my basic duty and go to church. I received all the sacraments thus far as well. Most recent have been confirmation. They put us through a kind of faith formation education class every Wednesday for a few years leading up to it. I don't feel like I learned much from it, however. Sure, there's more to Catholicism than just knowing the sacraments and a few Bible verses. Which they're just giving us straightforward answers to certain questions like why we should even bother going to church on Sundays. Can't we just be spiritually close to God through prayer? Isn't He everywhere after all? Regardless, I know despite some of the people in Catholic Church history, church itself is largely a force for good in the world. It does seem to provide the most charitable services in the world, especially in the healthcare and education sectors. But there's a good bit of wisdom in the Bible and through the stories of the saints. I've heard some good things about that Jesus fellow. Even non-Christians can't seem to see much fault in him. I wonder how the God of all creation would react to being referred to that way. Sure, he at least has a sense of humor. Otherwise, why would he have humored us with his presence? Anyways, whether or not I'm close to him in the present moment, all I can do is move forward and do good for myself and others. As I step through the school gate, I resolve to do just that, my own life, and those whose paths intersect with my own. I will go forth and become a better person so I can affect positive change in the world. And who knows, maybe while I'm there, I'll find the path that God wants me to take. I step forward and begin my trek through campus to familiarize myself with the school grounds. A few dozen students are roaming from one place to another, enjoying the last day off before the weekend finishes. I start to feel a bit isolated since I'm coming from a different school, having through my high school career, a month into my junior year at that. I hope that I don't have any trouble making new connections. Still, this place doesn't look half bad. Comfy even. Yeah, I could get used to it. I wander aimlessly for a few minutes, clueless as to where I'm headed, by this large beast-looking man walking in my direction. 2 giant ox horns adorn his head. I don't mean to stare, but it really is imposing at first glance. Besides this, it looks like he is dressed in a priestly garb. Okay, he must be the principal, Father John. While he approaches me, I wonder to myself if I should ask him for directions. Should he be the one to ask for guidance around here? Almost as if I could read his mind, he asked me before I can even have a chance. Hey there, friend. Look like a lost sheep. Can I help you find your way? Yes, Father. I'm transferring here as a junior. Just arrived today and I'm looking to find my bearings. Unfortunately for you, it is my job to help the lost find their way. By the way, I'm Father John. I'm the principal and head spiritual director here at St. Thomas High School. Yes, sir. I kinda guess from the descriptions I've heard of you. No offense. None taken. I know I'm kind of hard to miss. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. My name's Gabriel. Those little people call me Gabe. You're a god in need of guidance then. How ironic. Well, I think you're in luck because a reliable servant of the Lord has appeared to us. Father John gestures behind me to a monster boy who at first glance seems tired and unkempt. Okay. This is Damien. He's in your grade and a student council member to boot. David, would you mind terribly showing Gabe around campus? He's new here. I need someone to show him around. I don't mind. Carries his hand in a short, motionless wave. You know, I'm Damien, Daywalker. Lou likewise awkwardly copying his short wave while responding. Gabe, human? I make a joke about me also walking around during the day, but I still know how people might react to unsolicited jokes about their monster race. It was nice to meet you, Gabe, but if you don't mind. Not at all. Sorry for keeping you. I'm sure that you're still pretty busy on Sundays, even after Mass. Indeed I am. Regular principal is never done. Best of luck finding your bearings, Gabe. Make sure to come by the chapel sometime in the evenings if you're ever in need of a spiritual guidance or need a confession heard. Of course, I'm always available in case of emergencies. Anyways, welcome to St. Thomas. Okay. I'm now left in the day walker's care. Although Damien doesn't look like he has energy to lead me anywhere, much less do anything but sleep. You're a junior too, huh? What made you come to St. Thomas High? It's a long story. The short version is that I got into a fight defending someone else. My parents and I had a different perspective on the topic of justice than the school did. Oh yeah? Sounds complicated. So what have you seen around school so far? Just the front gate in here. Great, let's head towards the most popular lunch hangout. Then we can head inside so you can see where our classes are held. I have some businesses around there and elsewhere, so I'll get it done while showing you around. Thanks, and sorry for the inconvenience. Don't sweat it, it's my job to make sure all students are taken care of as a school council member. Looks like I ran into a big wig around here. Though he doesn't look the type, he must do a lot of good for the school to have the principal rely on him like this. With Damien in my helm, I follow him to our next destination. We're in an open field with oak trees and picnic tables arranged near one another. The area is filled with students, the most prominent of which are a group of cheerleaders chanting synchronized cheers. I try to keep a steady pace with Damien, but I struggle to keep up as he makes a surprisingly quick beeline to the cheerleaders. By the time I catch up, their routine is finished and Damien starts talking to what looks like the head cheerleader. Unlike at my old school, I noticed a lot of diversity amongst the group. Half of them were ordinary humans, but the other half are monster girls. Blue-feathered bird-type monster girl sneaks away from the group while I'm idling by myself, waiting for Damien. She must be a harpy. I haven't heard much about them except what I was told about their ancient legends. Mostly that they used to pick up random travelers and kidnap them with their sharp, imposing talons. This harpy's short, brightly colored hair and light blue feathers lowers the intimidation factor by at least half. And if she weren't already coming closer, I'd say she looks very approachable. Those old tales can't be true, can they? Hey there, I've seen you around here before. I'm Sera. Hey, I'm Gabe, as in Gabriel. Reach my hand out to greet her before realizing that it might be awkward to grasp a harpy's talons. My hand reaches mine before I stop myself, and despite how it looks, the inside of her palm is surprisingly soft and her grip gentle. Nice to meet you. Am I right? You new here? Yeah, I'm a junior. Came from a little town 3 hours away. Junior, huh? Me too. What brings you all the way out here? We'll have to repeat this a few times, but clearly have been a new way to summarize it for anyone that wants to know. Long story short, I got into a fight defending someone at the school, and they had no tolerance policy in place. Scary, a ruffian or a knight in shining armor? Let's spill details later. Yeah, well, so this is a popular hangout during lunch hours? Yeah, that's where I usually catch up with all the latest gossip. Talk with all my friends. Of course, there's an inside cafeteria as well, which is nice for when it's raining. Food's okay too, I guess. When to find someone during lunch or after school, this is the most likely place that you'll find them. Then Damien cuts in. Yeah, Gabe, I'm done, Sera. Let's go to the next place. Alright, nice to meet you, Sera. Guess I'll see you tomorrow. Yep, nice to meet you too. Sera skips back to her squad members, bouncing on her feet with every step. Okay, next up our classroom. There's a few things I need to get from there before we continue on. Either way. Let's see about as good a time as any to save. Because this is a bit of a longer demo, and I am at the time mark where I want to stop. So we'll see what else is up with this game. This is the about section. This is an alpha mode right now. Hit that main menu. So this game will be also on Steam if you're curious about Wholesome Monster Girl Academia. So y'all have uniforms too. So this game piques your interest at all, you want to try it out for yourself, of course everything will be in the description below for y'all to play it. If not, you just want to watch the video, that's fine. Just don't hesitate, if you want to like, share, comment, subscribe to support the video and the channel. If not, that's totally fine. But yeah, everything will also be in the description below if y'all want to check it out. But with that being said, I'm gonna end it here. So hope y'all had a good day, good yesterday, and better tomorrow. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.